"Uncle Magic," the boy whispered, voice trembling under the roar of the crowd. "I can save her." Magic Johnson didn't hear him at first, not over the blaring speakers of Crypto.com Arena, the claps, the pounding bass from the halftime show. He glanced down, puzzled by the grip on his wrist. The boy was no more than 10, skinny, shirt 2 sizes too big, eyes wide and wet. He looked like he didn't belong in the front row, because he didn't. "Security!" someone called from behind. A man in a blazer moved fast, but Magic raised a calm hand without breaking eye contact with the boy. "What did you say, lil man?" The boy swallowed hard. "I said I can save her, my sister." Magic's chest tightened. The words cut through the noise. Real words, not a prank, not a pitch. The kind of plea you don't hear unless you're listening with your whole heart. "What's your name?" Magic asked, crouching slightly. "Dion," the boy said. "Dion Parker. Please, you gotta help me. She's in the hospital and she needs a liver. I heard you help people." Someone finally muted the arena mic, or maybe it was just the silence around Magic's world right then. A kind of stillness only grief recognizes. "You came all this way just to find me?" Dion nodded, wiping his face with the back of his sleeve. "We live on East 65th, near the laundromat with the broken neon. I tried everybody. No one listened. Mama's working doubles. I figured if anyone could do something, it's Uncle Magic." Magic blinked. Uncle Magic, a nickname he hadn't heard in years. Not since the early 90s, when kids in South Central used to yell it from apartment windows, pretending he was family. He looked at Dion, really looked. The cracked lips, shoes with holes in them. The wristband from the children's hospital still stuck to his arm. "What's your sister's name?" "Leah," Dion said, chest heaving now. "She's 15. She's been on the transplant list for 6 months. They said maybe next year, but she's turning yellow now. They sent her home last week because they can't do nothing else." Magic nodded slowly, his jaw tight. He'd heard that kind of helplessness before, from mothers, from fathers, from kids who knew too much about loss. "You didn't come here for a selfie," he said softly. "No, sir. You came here because you're out of time." Dion nodded again. His chin quivered, but he held it still. "Come with me," Magic said finally. He turned and waved off security, then leaned down and scooped Dion into his arms like he was his own blood. The boy clutched the front of Magic's suit like he was the last safe place on Earth. Backstage, the hallway smelled like sweat and popcorn. Magic's assistant scrambled to catch up, phone in hand. "Get Cedars-Sinai on the line," Magic said. "Tell him we're coming, and call Dr. Ling. I don't care what time it is." "Yes, sir." Dion looked up at him, dazed. "You believe me?" "I believe in showing up," Magic replied. "Now let's go save your sister." The camera cut to commercial, but the real show had just begun. Don't miss what happens next. Subscribe and drop a comment if you've ever faced a moment where doing the right thing cost you something big. Dion sat on the vinyl bench, legs swinging above the tile floor. The hospital smelled sharp, disinfectant, and something metallic underneath, like rusted pennies in water. He hadn't let go of Magic's hand since they arrived. The man everyone knew as a legend moved like he belonged here. Not as a patient, not as a visitor, but as someone who had changed lives in these halls before. Nurses smiled, security guards nodded, and a woman in a navy blue suit had already ushered them into a private waiting room labeled family consultation. Dion hated that word. Family. His mom was probably still at the night shift, folding towels at the downtown Marriott. His dad, he didn't even remember what his voice sounded like. Leah was all he had, and Leah was dying in a bed just 2 floors above. "You okay?" Magic asked, lowering himself into the chair beside him. Dion shrugged. "She ain't gonna make it, is she?" Magic leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "Listen to me. I don't know yet, but I've made calls, some heavy ones. If there's a way to help her, I'll find it. You found me, didn't you? That's something no 10-year-old's ever pulled off." "I snuck in through the side door by the catering truck," Dion admitted, a little embarrassed. Magic let out a soft chuckle. "That's some hustle. You got more heart than most grown men I've met." The door creaked open. "Doctor." Ling stepped in, a woman in her 50s with tired eyes and a clipboard tucked under her arm. She nodded at Magic, then looked at Dion. "You must be Leah's brother." He stood. "Yes, ma'am. I heard you went to great lengths to find help. That shows deep love." "She needs it," Dion said, his voice cracking. "She's all I got." Dr. Ling knelt down to his level. "She's stable for now. But her liver is failing faster than we anticipated. If she doesn't get a transplant in the next few weeks—" She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Dion looked at Magic, panic climbing up his throat. "Doctor," Magic said, standing, "what about expedited listing?" "I've already sent the paperwork," she said, glancing at the clipboard. "With your referral and Foundation's backing, she moves to priority status." "Good. But," Dr. Ling added gently, "there still needs to be a match. It's not just money, it's biology. And time." Magic nodded, lips pressed into a line. He'd faced games where the scoreboard wasn't in his favor. But this wasn't a game, this was a girl, a sister, a life. "What if I was a match?" Dion asked suddenly. Dr. Ling blinked. "You're far too young, sweetheart." "I'd do it," he said, eyes burning. "I'd give her whatever I got. Everything." Magic rested a hand on his shoulder. "No one's asking you to do that, Dion." "But what if I could?" he insisted. "If it was the only way." There was a silence then. Dr. Ling stood and turned to Magic. "I'll update you once we hear from Unos." When she left, Dion sat again, shoulders slumped. "She don't even know I'm here." Magic looked down at him. "We'll change that." Dion glanced out the window. The LA skyline glowed against the night. Somewhere out there, someone had a liver that could save Leah's life. They just didn't know it yet. Dion sat by the vending machine with a can of Sprite unopened in his lap. The morning sun broke through the hospital windows, pale and uninterested. He'd been awake all night, his body in the hospital, but his mind somewhere else. Someplace where Leah was smiling, where they were walking home from school with a bag of flaming hot Cheetos between them, where she wasn't turning yellow. Where she didn't forget words or fall asleep mid-sentence. Magic Johnson returned from the hallway, phone still in his hand, expression unreadable. "I talked to 3 directors. They're working through the list. There's a possible lead in Bakersfield, but..." He trailed off. No need to finish. "No match," Dion said quietly. Magic sighed. "Not yet." Dion clenched his hands in his lap. "She's gonna die before they get it, huh?" Magic knelt next to him. "I know this feels like the edge of the world, Dion, but sometimes the edge is where we learn how strong we really are." "I don't want to be strong," Dion said, staring at the floor. "I just want my sister." A nurse peeked around the corner. "You can see her now." "Just a few minutes." Dion was on his feet before she finished the sentence. The room was dim, full of machines and beeps. Leah looked smaller than he remembered. Her skin yellowed, her lips dry, but she was awake. "Dee." Her voice was barely a whisper. He smiled, even though his throat was closing up. "Hey, sleepyhead." She gave the faintest smirk. "Did you skip school for me?" "Nah," he said, sitting at the edge of the bed. "I had business." She frowned. "You're not hustling candy again, are you?" He laughed. "Nope, something bigger. I found someone who can help." Her eyes blinked slowly. "Who?" "Magic Johnson." She stared at him like she wasn't sure if she was dreaming. "Like the Magic Johnson?" He nodded. "He's out there right now." "Making calls, moving mountains." Leah coughed softly, a weak sound that stabbed Dion's gut. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did," he said. "You're all I got, remember?" Tears formed in her eyes. "I'm scared, Dee." He reached for her hand. "Me too." They sat like that for a moment, surrounded by hums and blinking lights. Then she closed her eyes again, her grip loosening. When Dion stepped out, Magic was waiting. He handed the boy a breakfast sandwich wrapped in foil. "Eat something." "I'm not hungry." "You're gonna need energy," Magic said. "This is a marathon, not a sprint." Dion took the sandwich and peeled it slowly. "How long you staying?" "Long as it takes," Magic replied. They sat in silence, the hallway quiet except for the occasional squeak of shoes. Then Magic's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and stood up slowly. What is it? Dion asked, sandwich forgotten. Dr. Ling wants to see us. They rode the elevator in silence. Floor 4, private wing, same consultation room. Dr. Ling stood with her arms folded, her expression calm but serious. We had a match, she said. Dion's heart jumped. But it was rejected by another family. Logistics. Cold ischemia time was too long. It went to another hospital. What does that mean? Dion asked, voice shaking. It means it wasn't ours, she said. Not this time. The hope drained from his face. Magic put a hand on his shoulder. We're closer, he said quietly. That means it's possible. Dion didn't say anything. Just stared at the floor, fists clenched, a single tear sliding down the side of his cheek. The hospital's rooftop garden wasn't much, just some planter boxes, faded benches, and a rusting trellis where jasmine used to grow. But Dion liked it there. It was quiet, far from the beeping monitors, far from the waiting rooms and vending machines. Up here, he could breathe. Magic stood beside him, arms crossed, staring out over Los Angeles. The city looked calm from this height, its chaos softened by distance. You'd never guess someone was fighting for their life just 5 stories down. She flatlined this morning, Dion said without turning. Only for a few seconds, but I heard the nurse say it. Magic exhaled slowly. I know, Dion's voice broke. They keep saying we're close, but close doesn't mean anything if she doesn't make it to tomorrow. I've seen close, Magic replied. Close is a buzzer beater that rattles and drops in. Close is a kid growing up without a dad and still finding his way. Close means there's still time on the clock. Dion looked up at him. But what if the clock runs out? Magic knelt beside him, leveling their eyes. Then we do everything we can before it does. Every call, every favor, every prayer. I'd trade places with her, Dion whispered. I know. Magic hesitated. Then, you remind me of my little brother. You got a brother? Had, Magic said quietly. Larry. We didn't grow up with much. He looked out for me, like you look out for Leah. He passed before I could help him the way I wanted, Dion swallowed. You think I'll lose her too? Magic didn't answer, just looked him in the eye and said, I'm not going to let you walk this road alone. Dion nodded slowly, then turned back toward the city. Can we stay up here a little longer? As long as you want. Later that afternoon, Dr. Ling found them in the hallway with a look that stopped time. Magic stepped forward. We got a call from the Pacific Northwest, she said. Teenager, car accident, blood type match, liver viability excellent. If we move now, we can get it here by early morning. Dion froze. That's good, right? It's very good, Dr. Ling said, but we need to prep Leah immediately, and we need a signature. A guardian. Dion's heart dropped. My mom, still unreachable, she said. I've left voicemails. We're trying her work now. I can't sign? I'm sorry, sweetheart. You're not old enough. I'll sign, Magic said. Dr. Ling paused. You're not her legal guardian. Magic looked her dead in the eye. Call the hospital board. Call my lawyer. I've helped open wings in this hospital. I will not watch this girl die over paperwork. Dr. Ling nodded. I'll escalate. As she turned away, Dion grabbed Magic's sleeve. You think it'll work? It has to, he said, because this is the shot, the real one, the one you don't miss. Hours passed. The sky turned orange, then black. Then came the call. Leah was being wheeled into surgery. Magic stayed behind with Dion in the family waiting area. He paced. Dion sat still, eyes fixed on the swinging door. Time didn't feel real, only the beat of his heart, only the promise he made to her. Please don't die, Dion whispered to no one. Please don't die. Magic sat beside him. She's strong, he said. And now, she's got a chance. The clock on the wall said 3:42 a.m. Dion had stopped watching it hours ago. He sat curled in one of the stiff waiting room chairs, a blanket someone had handed him earlier draped over his shoulders. His head was heavy, his eyelids dry. But he wouldn't sleep. Not until he knew. Magic Johnson was still pacing. Slowly now, like each step carried more weight. His tie was loose, his phone finally silent. All the calls had been made. All the strings pulled, There was nothing left but waiting. Then the doors swung open. Dr. Ling entered, hair tucked under a blue cap, surgical mask pulled down around her neck. She looked exhausted, but there was something in her eyes that made Dion sit up straight. "She made it," the doctor said. Dion didn't move. He wasn't sure he'd heard right. Dr. Ling smiled softly. "The transplant was a success. The liver took. She's stable. She's going to make it." Magic turned toward the wall, rubbing his eyes. Dion stood, slowly at first, then all at once. "She's okay? She's sleeping now. But yes, you saved her, Dion." The boy stumbled toward Magic and wrapped his arms around him, burying his face in his suit jacket. Magic held him tight, not saying a word. "Just breathing." "You did it," Magic finally said. "You really did it." Dion pulled back, his face wet with tears. "We did it." They let him into Leah's room that afternoon. She was pale but awake, her eyes cloudy from meds, but focused when they met his. "You're here," she whispered. "So are you," he smiled. "You came back." Leah blinked, tears slipping sideways across her cheeks. "I thought I was gone." "You almost were," he said, sitting by her bed, "but someone gave you a second chance." She squeezed his hand, weak but warm. "Did Mama call?" "Not yet," he said, "but she'll come. She always does." Leah looked past him, noticing the man standing in the doorway. "Is that—" Magic stepped forward, smiling. "Hey Leah, I'm Magic." She blinked again. "Like Magic Johnson?" He nodded. "Your brother's pretty persuasive." "He never gives up," she murmured. "I know," Magic said. "He reminded me why I don't either." A week later, when she was strong enough to sit up, a nurse wheeled Leah into the hospital courtyard. The sun was warm. The air smelled like citrus and city dust. Magic had returned with a pair of sneakers, brand new, Leah's size. Purple and gold. "Gotta have court shoes when you get out," he said with a wink. Leah grinned. "You're really something, Mr. Johnson." He chuckled. "You both are." Dion stood beside her, arms crossed, eyes wide with pride. He'd grown in those few days, older somehow. Not just a little brother anymore, a fighter, a survivor. "You two gave a lot of people hope," Magic said. Dion shook his head. "You gave us that first." Magic crouched next to Leah's chair. "When you walk out of here, walk proud. The world doesn't always give second chances, but you earned yours." Leah nodded, blinking back emotion. As they looked toward the open sky above the hospital walls, Dion whispered, "Uncle Magic." "Yeah?" "Thank you. For everything." Magic smiled. "You don't owe me a thing, Dion. Just keep taking care of each other." And as the camera of real life faded on this quiet moment of healing and resilience, let you, watching this now, remember, there's always someone worth fighting for. If this story moved you, even just a little, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment. You never know who might be listening or who might need help next, and click the next video on screen. It was chosen just for you, and you're going to love it.